Some love stories don't begin with happiness. They begin with loss, with the quiet ache of knowing something precious is slipping away even before you fully understand its value. This story begins on a rain-soaked evening, when the sky seemed to mourn alongside a man standing alone at a railway platform, watching a train disappear into the distance, carrying away the one person who had once felt like his entire future. In that moment, his chest felt hollow, not because she was gone, but because he realized she had changed him forever, even though she would not stay forever. Love, he would learn, does not always mean permanence. Sometimes it means transformation, pain, and growth that lasts long after the person is gone.
If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the idea that some people come into our lives to shape us rather than stay with us, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who might need it, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel.
Your support keeps stories like this alive.
He grew up in a small city where life moved slowly, where dreams were often postponed in favor of survival. His childhood was marked by responsibility far earlier than it should have been. His father passed away when he was still learning what adulthood meant, and overnight, the weight of the world settled on his shoulders.
He worked small jobs, studied late into the night, and carried a quiet exhaustion that no one around him ever truly noticed. He learned to be strong, but he also learned to be alone. Love was not something he expected from life. It felt like a luxury meant for people with fewer worries and lighter hearts.
Then she arrived, unexpectedly, quietly, like a gentle season that transforms everything without asking permission.
She was not loud or dramatic, but her presence had a way of softening the sharp edges of the world.
She carried warmth in her smile and depth in her eyes, as if she understood pain without being consumed by it.
Their paths crossed through ordinary circumstances, but from the beginning something felt different. With her, conversations felt easy, silences felt comfortable, and the future felt less frightening.
For the first time in years, he allowed himself to imagine a life that was more than just endurance.
Their bond grew slowly, rooted in shared struggles and unspoken understanding. They walked through crowded streets and empty parks, talked about dreams that felt too big for their surroundings, and found comfort in the idea that someone else truly saw them. She encouraged him to believe in himself, to pursue the ambitions he had buried under responsibility. He, in turn, gave her stability, reassurance, and loyalty that felt unbreakable. Together, they felt like they were building something sacred, something meant to last. But destiny is not always gentle. As time passed, the realities of life began to press in.
Opportunities pulled them in different directions, and the very dreams that once connected them started to create distance.
He was offered a chance to move forward in his career, a step that could change his family's future, but it demanded sacrifice and relentless focus.
She, on the other hand, felt called toward a different path, one that required freedom, exploration, and emotional openness. He was slowly losing under pressure.
The love between them did not vanish suddenly. It faded in fragments, through missed calls, postponed plans, and conversations that ended before they truly began. He became more tired, more distant, consumed by the fear of failing everyone who depended on him. She tried to hold on, to remind him of the warmth they once shared, that love cannot survive on memories alone. Slowly, the space between them filled with unspoken resentment and quiet sadness.
He noticed the change before he admitted it.
The way her laughter no longer reached her eyes when she was with him, the way she hesitated before sharing her thoughts, the way their silences grew heavy instead of peaceful. He loved her deeply, but he did not know how to fight for her without losing himself. And she loved him too, but she was beginning to feel invisible, like a supporting character in a life that no longer had room for her dreams. The breaking point did not come with anger or betrayal.
It came with exhaustion. One evening, as they sat together in the dim light of a familiar place, the truth settled between them like a final verdict. They both knew the love was real, but they also knew it was no longer enough to hold them together.
Sometimes the most painful endings are the ones where no one is wrong. When she finally walked away, It felt unreal. Days blurred into weeks, and weeks into months. He carried on with his responsibilities, achieved the success he had once dreamed of, but every milestone felt strangely empty. He would catch glimpses of her in strangers, hear her voice in passing songs, and feel a tightness in his chest that never fully faded. She had been his destiny in the sense that she arrived when he needed her most. But she was not his forever. Loneliness returned, heavier this time because it was accompanied by memory. He questioned every choice he had made, wondering if love could have survived had he been braver, softer, more present. Yet, in his quiet moments, he also recognized how much he had grown because of her. She had taught him to feel, to hope, and to believe in something beyond survival. Even in absence, she continued to shape him. Years passed, and life slowly transformed again.
He became more balanced, learned to set boundaries, and found ways to nurture his own emotional world.
The pain did not disappear, but it softened, turning into gratitude rather than regret.
He began to understand that some relationships are not meant to last forever, but they are meant to prepare us for the person we become.
One day, he heard news of her through mutual connections.
She had found her own path, her own happiness.
Instead of pain, he felt peace.
Knowing she was okay felt like closure he never knew he needed.
In that moment, he realized love does not always mean possession. Sometimes it means letting go with grace.
As he stood once again at a railway platform years later, the memory of that first goodbye returned, but it no longer broke him.
He smiled softly, understanding now that destiny is not about permanence, but purpose.
She was the chapter that taught him how to love, how to lose, and how to rise stronger than before.
If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you of someone who changed your life even if they didn't stay, please take a moment to like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Your engagement helps more people find stories that heal and inspire. Before the story ends, I have a special request for you. Comment below with one word that describes how this story made you feel. Your words matter, and they might help someone else feel less alone. In the end, he carried her not as a wound, but as a quiet strength within him. She was his destiny, not because she stayed, but because she shaped the man he became. And sometimes that is the truest form of love there is.